God was saying, you're stealing from me every time you let the offering plate go by and you don't put in what you're supposed to, at least a tithe. There's a story that illustrates this in the New Testament. There's a story that illustrates this in the New Testament. Church is growing, everything's going great, till you get to Acts 5. You've got a guy named Ananias and his wife Sapphira. They sell a piece of land. They get the amount of money. They keep a portion for themselves. They take the rest to the church leaders, and they say, we're giving you this money, and it's all the money that we received for this land. You see the problem there? They're lying. There's nothing wrong with them keeping it. If they had said, we're giving you a part of the money, a portion of the money that we received in the land, nobody would have ever said a thing, not even God. But they kept a portion and they said, we're giving it all. You see that? It's a lie. Stealing from God's what it's doing. And I want you to see how it played out. Acts 5. But there was a certain man named Ananias who, with his wife Sapphira, sold some property. He brought part of the money to the apostles, claiming it was the full amount. With his wife's consent, he kept the rest. There's the problem. There's the lie. Then Peter said, Ananias, why have you let Satan fill your heart? You lied to the Holy Spirit, and you kept some of the money for yourself. The property was yours to sell or not to sell as you wished. After selling it, the money was also yours to give away. How could you do such a thing? You weren't lying to us, but to God. As soon as Ananias heard these words, he fell on the floor and died. God killed him. God killed him. God killed him. Everyone who heard about it was terrified. Then some young men got up, wrapped him up in a sheet, took him out and buried him. About 3 hours later, his wife came in. Not knowing what had happened, Peter asked her, was this the price you and your husband received for your land? Yes, she replied. That was the price. Peter said, how could the two of you even think of conspiring to test the Spirit of the Lord like this? The young men who buried your husband are just outside the door, and they will carry you out too. Instantly she fell to the floor and died. The young men came in and saw that she was dead, and they carried her out and buried her beside her husband. I guess that's what started getting buried by your spouse. And great fear gripped the entire church and everyone else who heard what was happening. Every time a Christian refuses to tithe, they're just like Ananias and Sapphira. Every time a Christian refuses to tithe, they're just like Ananias and Sapphira. They're lying to God and they're stealing from God. If God treated us this morning in this room the way He treated them in that day, how many people would be wrapped up in blankets and taken out the back door? Think about it. Think about it.